He had to spend the night with her until the rooster crows, if you know what I mean. Hey y'all, reporting live from the sick and shut-in list. I'm Elise.
I'm Will.
And this is Team Tatum. I apologize if I'm not actually looking at the camera right now. I'm going through a lot of things in my life, including not being able to see. So I'm looking where I think the camera is. I can't see where you look like you pointing at the door. Just forget it. Anywho, today on our review of 1001 movies you must see before you die, we will be reviewing Nosferatu. So, Nosferatu is a horror film, and as you've heard on our previous video, we're focusing on horror films during October for October Horror Fest. I just made that up. That's not what it's called at all. But anywho, Nosferatu. What you got to say about it? When was it made?
Nosferatu was made in 1922. It is a German movie. That's right. We're doing another foreign film. And unbeknownst to me, it was silent. Which is not our first silent film. The first video we did was A Trip to the Moon. And that was silent. However, that was like a 15-minute movie. This was a whole hour and a half fully realized adult movie with no talking. But they did have audio. They did have like the little jaunty organ player or whatever playing throughout the whole thing.
Word.
I didn't like it though, because it was the same track for an hour and a half.
It was a bit much for certain scenes. But anywho, Nosferatu is a movie about Dracula. Surprise. And it's about a man who works for a real estate agency. That's probably another surprise for you. And he was sent to work with one of their new clients to help him buy a house where they were. He had to leave where they were, go to where the man was in a different country to help him buy a house. I feel like the man should have come to him, but what do I know? But that's the synopsis. And things happen from then. Now, let's get into the juicy stuff. Warning, spoilers ahead. What did you think about him being a real estate agent?
So, obviously people have had to live places and somebody helped them find said spot. But in 1922, for whatever reason, I just wasn't thinking real estate agents. And I don't think it was actually, was that the time period in the movie? I don't think it was actually the time.
I think it was supposed to be before then.
Before, yeah. So, I was like, real estate agent.
Like the 1800s.
That's weird. Yeah, that sounds more right. I don't know. Sometimes you go back that's like going back to the 40s and hearing somebody talking about logging or something. It's weird. Like it's a current profession, but so far back, it's like, really? People needed a real estate agent? I thought you were just like, there's some land. Boom. Called it a day. So that threw me off. But other than that, you?
Same. So, here's what happened. The broker of the agency, what's his name?
His name was Hutter.
Mr. Hutter, the broker, sent, what's the other man's name? The main man.
The broker. Oh, the broker's name was Reinfeld.
Reinfeld sent Hutter to Transylvania to work with Nosferatu to help him find a house. So he told his girlfriend he was betrothed. Were they already engaged?
Yeah, it was already engaged.
He told his fiance, and she didn't want him to go for real. She had a weird feeling, but she was like, you gotta go do your job. So he left, went to Transylvania to work with Nosferatu, and he was warned when he got there. They were like, I wouldn't go over there if I was you. Some weird stuff be happening over there. They're known to be vampires, aka vampires. And they don't come out in the daytime. They kill you, these kind of things. And he was like, well, gotta do my job. You think you take me out there? Nope. Then he finally found somebody that would take him out there. Yeah. It looked like he was going in the wrong direction to us, but we might have translated something wrong. I was like, I'm pretty sure I asked to go this way, and you taking me that way.
No, he took him, but he only took him so far. Like, basically, it was like, why'd you even have me get in this wagon? Because
he took him down the street.
He took him down the street. Like, he picked him up on this corner and dropped him off on this corner. And he was like, yo, the house is like 2-3 more miles that way. And he was like, we don't go over there. This is it. Either you gonna walk back, get back in this wagon and go back to this corner, or you walking the rest of the way. This is it.
Except they were in the woods, not actual streets, with corners and stuff. But that was the analogy. So he made it to Nosferatu's castle, and his servant let him in, I believe. I don't really remember. All I remember is he met him. They were like eating dinner. He accidentally cut. No, they weren't eating dinner. They were doing something. He accidentally cut his finger.
No, he gave some bread.
And that was when the temptation struck. He was doing all right until he saw that blood, and he was like, oh, now I gotta eat you.
Let me see your thumb. And he was like, it's all right. It's just a little cut. And he was like, no. Let me see it. It could be serious. And he was like, no, you're being weird.
So, after that, the guy found... Did he find the book, or did he bring that book with him about vampires?
He brought that book with him because everybody was talking. Like, he was reading about it before he left on.
Oh, yeah, he was reading it at home first.
Yeah, because everybody was talking about the whole vampire thing, vampire this, so he was like, let me read up.
Yeah, so what I'm facing. And so, he's been reading about vampires and, like, the steps that it takes for them to kill you and all this kind of stuff. He was like, uh-oh, he on step 2. I got to keep my guards up now. And so he's like barely sleeping, all this kind of stuff, head on the swivel while he's at his house. What did he do? Why did he find out about him sleeping in the coffin? He just went and looked.
Being nosy? You know how people be.
Yeah. So he went down to the cellar, saw that he slept in the coffin, and was like, that's not good. And so then, at this point, it was time for them to come back over to the U.S. He wrote his wife. Oh, he's been writing his fiance this whole time, like letting her know what's going on. And she's like, something don't seem right from these letters.
Also, how long you gotta be gone to be writing letters, then get there?
Yeah.
Reading. Like,
yeah.
That wasn't no quick, let me pop over, go over the details, and then bounce back. Like, that man was over there for a minute.
Yeah. And so they finally were coming back home, and also Nosferatu decided that he was moving into this big old, looked like abandoned warehouse / apartment complex across the street from, what's his name?
Hutter.
Across the street from Hutter. And so at first Hutter was cool with it until he found out he was a vampire and all. He was like, you can't live across the street from me. But he did. He already paid for it and stuff. It was his house now. So,
It's mine now.
Right. And so his broker, once Nosferatu made it back over here, he finally stopped pretending to be who he was. Turns out he was Nosferatu's minion this whole time, and he went full out crazy once he made it back. I don't know what snapped, but he was like...
He was in proximity to him. It wasn't just he was over there. It was the fact that he was like within range or whatever.
I guess so. So he turned a fool and was like, yes, master. What you need me to do for you, master? And all this stuff, climbing up walls, like, just doing everything. They put him in a mental institute because he was acting such a way. And he lost his real estate agency because he went crazy. And anywho, when Nosferatu, I skipped over this, when they made it back from overseas, the ship that they came over in had a bunch of caskets full of dirt And also in that dirt were rats.
Lots of rats.
And that's how either the Black Plague or the bubonic plague got started. But I can't remember which plague it was. They didn't really say. They just said the plague. So then the rats got out, started biting everybody, giving them the plague. But also they found out that like 5 of the people on the crew were dead, not from the plague. They didn't know that at first, so they thought that they died from the plague. And that's how it started spreading. But Nosferatu ate them fools. Well, drank their blood. And they didn't even know he was on the ship, turns out. He was hiding out the whole time. And so he got over here. He eating everybody up, drinking their blood, having a good old time, sleeping all day, partying all night. The fiance is like being drawn to him, but not in a good way. She's just like, I gotta kill this man. She somehow knows what's going on. Nobody else does, even though he looks not safe. But
Creepy looking dude.
yeah, they were just like, oh, he's just not from here. That's all. I was like, I don't think that's it for this one. Different.
I guess he's just different.
Oh, what time is it? I'm sorry.
This is Kylie. He's the super. He's a little,
Ash, I know what it's like to feel different.
But so she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to kill this food because he's gonna kill my man, and that's not gonna happen. So she found the book that her fiance had been reading all this time, and it said the only way to stop a vampire is for a woman pure of heart, aka a virgin, a woman pure of heart to do what? Basically, not really give herself to him, but have him come to where she is and stay with her all night until the rooster crows. I think it meant she had to sleep with him, but they just didn't want to say it. But he had to spend the night with her until the rooster crows, if you know what I mean, even though that's the literal words that it said.
There's a point.
Yeah. And so she did get him to do it. She got him to come over. She got him to stay. And then he was there in the daytime. And you know what happened to vampires in the daytime? They die.
Starting with
Allegedly, yeah.
Started with this movie. This is the first movie that...
First story.
First story, yeah. First story in general where vampires get killed by sunlight. So I realized watching this movie that, well, it confirmed it. I was already on the fence, but like, I never want to be a vampire. Like, there's too many rules and they change all the time or whatever. Like, this kills vampires, this doesn't kill vampires. They can do this, they can't do that. So many things. So forget vampires. But yeah, this storyline is the very first one where they introduced the whole sunlight killing vampires. Never before had this been a weakness of vampires. Anyway, continue.
That's it. So he stayed. He got in the sunlight. He evaporated. Turned into a little pile of ashes on the floor. And yeah, that was it. He was gone. Fiance was back to normal. I don't know, did the broker ever come out of it? Was he still crazy?
I think he was still crazy at the end.
He's still crazy. And
Because he escaped. He got out.
yeah.
He got out and was just crazying through the streets.
Yeah. And so they went on to live happily ever after. And they also, I think, destroyed his casket or something. I might be making it up. If it's not in the video, that means it wasn't right.
It's been a couple days since we watched it. Since, haven't been feeling all that hot. So didn't want to do the video. Feeling terrible. Still don't feel great. But
we'd be. Also, we're trying out these microphones. Let us know if it sounds better or worse than the last video. Well, once we watch this video back, we'll know if it sounds better or worse. But we've been trying these out. Well, this is our first time trying them out, other than just playing around with them when they came in. So that's that. Just wanted y'all to know that. But that is all about the movie. Now let's talk about what we thought of the movie. I liked it for its age, and Nosferatu looked really good for that time period.
That cat look.
He looked good though. He found his calling.
He just showed up to set and was like, let's go.
He found his calling. And what else did I like?
Like when he came up out the coffin.
I don't even remember that.
When he was in the boat, he came out like he went straight up, like it was the reverse Smooth Criminal.
I can envision what you're talking about, but I don't remember it. What else did I like? It was a good movie. Like William said, the music was a bit much. It was overbearing at times. It was supposed to be like sweet, loving scenes going on, and it's going on for the music. It was like, calm down. None of that is needed right now.
It was like the same. I'm exaggerating when I say it's the same track for the whole movie. It's not, but it's only like max 3.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what the scene, like she said, whether it's supposed to be like tension building, whether they just having a regular conversation over tea, something is, crazy happening. It's like it's just
Loud.
the same level of
Harsh.
like 8 bars repeated forever, and I was just like, man, I watched this on mute. Like it was awful to me. Like just ugh.
Oh, what did you think about the movie aside from the soundtrack? Well, the music.
I ain't like it.
Not any of it?
Not nan bit of it. That was like I understand the quality is low, not because of the time period, but because fun fact. So when I was doing like the whole his name is Hutter and all that, this cat, the director, really loved Bram Stoker's Dracula novel, and so he's like, I'm gonna make a movie. But unlike most people today who would ask first
Get
and get the permission or whatever for all the licensing and all
Get
that
the
stuff,
rights.
the rights, and then find out in the beginning like, nah, you can't do that, or yes, you can, but it's gonna be this amount of money, and they'd be like, nah, I'm not doing that. He was just like, I'm gonna make it, and it's gonna be so great that Bram was gonna be like, yeah, but that dude was like, nah. So they made the whole movie with the names that are in the Bram Stoker book. So Hutter is actually called Jonathan in the book, and his wife, fiance's named Nina, but in the version that got released, they changed it to Hutter and Ellen and everybody else's name. Count Dracula is not Count Dracula, he's Count Orlok.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's Count Orlok, and it's not Transylvania, it's some other, they might not even mention the name of the country, he's just not where they're at. But yeah, so they were like, nah, you can't do that. And the old boy was like, but I made the movie already. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Can't do it.
It's hard to see it.
But they were like, psh, I made this movie coming out. And Bram Stoker had died at this point, and his wife, his widow, was still, alive and well. So she was like, oh, you thought it was over? Lawson sued him and made him burn, like,
Destroy
rid of all the copies.
The films.
And so, even though she ordered all the copies to be burned,
one of them survived. Somebody kept it on the down low. So that's the one that you see going around everywhere, but they just made different versions of the one that survived to have fake names added in to try not to get sued themselves.
Yeah, so that's why the copy, that's why the quality isn't all that great, because it's like a copy of a copy. But yeah, stuff was blown out. Couldn't really see a whole lot with it being black and white and then it being just kind of deteriorated footage. So there was stuff that was happening where it's like, I can't even tell what's going on. Kind of like in Blair Witch Project, It's a much worse, and not because of the camera shaking. Just
I could tell what was going on all the time.
I couldn't. Yeah. I thought it was on the list because it was the first vampire movie. Because, you know, you have the Universal monsters. I don't know the history behind the Universal monsters, but, you know, you got Dracula, the werewolf, Frankenstein, the mummy, creature from the Black Lagoon. Oh, yes, Wolfman, sorry. But no, this was not the first. It was just the first popular vampire movie. There was one that came out before it. I can't remember the name of it. It's irrelevant. But for those who think it was the first vampire movie, that is incorrect. There's another movie prior to it. So why it's on this list?
It's a classic.
I don't know for me. It shouldn't be on the list for me, but if you like it, more power to you. I'm just not on that bandwagon.
I liked it. Well, on that note, what are we going to rate Nosferatu?
I would rate Nosferatu 2 cowboy ninjas out of 5.
I would rate Nosferatu 3.5 cowboy ninjas out of 5.
Wow.
And I don't feel like doing the math to see what that is. What is that, 2.75 cowboy ninjas out of 5 for the average? You let us know. Somebody with a calculator or that just knows math. What does that average out to? So, that's what we thought of Nosferatu of 1922. I liked it. Him not so much. And we'll see you on the next one. But before then, be sure to like this video if you liked it. Comment down below if you've seen Nosferatu and what you thought of it. And share this video with others so that they can also know about our feelings, our thoughts, our innermost, you know. Anyway, I'm hallucinating at this point from sickness. So, thank y'all for watching this video. This has been another episode of
Team Tatum.
Bye. Bye.
Fight! Fight!
I think I've been looking at the wrong spot this whole time.